Hi everyone. In the Android world of phones, there are tons of manufacturers with dozens of Android skins or overlays. Some of these skins make the Android experience more glamorous, whereas some makes it even more disgusting and awful to use. Today I would like to cast some light on the OxygenOS, which is heavily popular among the geeky audience around the globe. It was developed by OnePlus exclusively for their smartphones as they were dropping their fashion of using cyanogen mode in favor of their in-house OxygenOS. With its initial release in 2015 based on the Android 4.4 KitKat, this skin took short time to attain its reputation to uniquely identify OnePlus devices in the market as it was extremely clean and had zero bloatwares. I have a OnePlus 5T and it breathes with the OxygenOS 10 based on Android 10. This device was released in 2017 and was marketed as the best phone for students. It was pleasure of OnePlus to include the greatest specs in their devices since then and even today as well. The phone is enclosed in a premium aluminum unibody and has a OnePlus signature alert slider on the left. It could quickly switch between three sound profiles that were ring, vibrate and silent. You could only feel its importance once you start using it yourself. This OnePlus 5T had flagship specs at cost of a mid-range phone. It is powered by the Snapdragon 835 with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of UFS 2.1 storage. These are truly flagship specs for a 2017 phone, and on top of a well-optimized OxygenOS, this device easily glides even today. Where its competitor, the Galaxy S8, received only 2 Android updates and was stuck at the Android 9, this OnePlus phone got 3 Android updates and currently runs the Android 10. The OxygenOS was built to perform. OnePlus focused on minimalism and essentials, and it was having neither less nor more of features. Everything that you need and nothing you may not. Whenever Google released any Android version, OnePlus came to beautify it, to bring a complete Android experience, and I can easily bet and say that the old OxygenOS was even better than the stock Android. This skin minimized the unnecessary Android animations to give it more optimized look. In the entire UI, you can observe that the animations are decreased for the good. Closing apps just blends blissfully into the home screen, and everywhere the animations are only as much as required. The default animation scale was also slightly lower than that of stock Android, which somewhere contributed to its speed. OxygenOS actually made the stock Android feel overrated, as the stock Android felt quite pale in front of it. Here are some features on OxygenOS 10 that were absent in the Android 10, and few of it are not even present in the latest Android 14. These were ability to unlock the phone without pressing the OK button while entering the PIN, hiding the quick settings on lock screen for some additional security and peace of mind, hiding apps in the app drawer section, and you could also lock it by yourself. There is also built-in app lock for some extra privacy on your selected apps. Clone Apps feature, which was labeled as Parallel Apps by OnePlus to create twins for your social media apps. Many gestures like double tapping to lock screen or wake the screen, a dedicated game and dash mode were also present in the OxygenOS. There was a Zen mode to help you keep digitally detoxed and spend some quality time in their life. This would let you set a time and would block you from using the device and notifications for the specified time limit. Nowadays, we download various apps from the Play Store to avail such functionality but end up seeing ads only. Since it did not use the Google dialer, yes, you can record calls from it, without letting the person on the other side knowing it. This OS was very fast, and the screenshots were taken as soon as you press the buttons in a flash. You could also take long screenshots with it, and there was also a built-in screenshot editor. You could also lock your images, videos and any other file in the logbox inside the file manager. It was actually secure and no other application could access it on the device. You could also not reset it by deleting the file manager's data, as it is defended by the logbox password itself. OxygenOS 10 had no always-on display, but a feature similar to it called ambient display, which would display the time, date, battery and notification icons on a black background when you lift up the phone and gets off immediately when you put it down. There is a separate customizations tab in the settings. This page houses all the required customizations like wallpapers, fonts, themes, icon shapes, accent colors, and also the clock style of ambient display. All of these settings were mindfully given and were not at all present on the stock Android 10. Take a look at the stock Android yourself. It is definitely neat and clean, but all of its problems like the animations, lack of features, and sleek system apps were actually fixed in the OxygenOS. All the OnePlus apps were greatly made. They were lightweight and had all the required features. I'm not a fan of Google Photos, which is the default gallery app in the stock Android. In comparison, the OnePlus Gallery is way faster and matches the system aesthetics. All other OnePlus apps like the File Manager, Contacts, Notes matches the same DNA. OxygenOS was fast and fluid with no arguments. Whenever I have to check the system fluidity, I keep opening and closing the camera app, as many phones jitters and lags while doing it, but on this phone it is just so smooth. After updating to the last Android update, many Android manufacturers intentionally ruins the experience to force the users to buy newer devices. But OnePlus is one of the few good people that has enhanced the user experience with the last OxygenOS update, fixing the known bugs and also adding EIS to the camera. Now if we are talking about the cameras, although OnePlus provided flagship specs at a mid-range price, but the camera performance was limited till its price only. This OnePlus 5T has a dual camera system and it has a 16MP Sony IMX398 main lens with no OIS. The 20MP lens being its neighbor is to be used for portraits and night shots with f1.7 aperture. Honestly, this camera is good but not as good as the flagship, say the Galaxy S8. Images from this phone are fine and can be used even today as well. The details are good, but little handshake can ruin it as it does not have the OIS. The dynamic range is average and turning on the HDR mode sometimes makes the images even more dramatic like this one. The real scene was not at all like what it has captured. It is looking like if it's heavily processed. The video capabilities are decent. It can max shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second. In my opinion, 1080p at 60 frames per second is the most suited, whereas 1080p at 30 fps is best suited for stabilized videos. The display of this device is a Samsung-made optic AMOLED with deep blacks and punchy colors, which further makes the OxygenOS feels way better in its pitch dark mode. There are few small things in the UI that have huge impact on the experience, like the haptics. The vibration motor on this phone is definitely not that cheap ERM motor and it is pleasing. I say it feels little springy and sometimes is also noisy as well. OxygenOS provided you 3 levels for haptic strength, and among them all, medium is the best. You can also select vibration patterns for calls as well. I guess no other Android skin was as good as the OxygenOS. It is the most elegant version of Android that I have ever seen. But as of now, the new OxygenOS is actually the ColorOS. OnePlus may have said that they are not merging their OS with Oppo, but actually the merger happened. And now the difference in ColorOS and OxygenOS is negligible. Don't get me wrong, ColorOS is also good, but it has killed all the OxygenOS characteristics like being lightweight, bloatware free, and also close to stock Android, which has obviated the reason to choose a OnePlus device over Oppo or Realme device, as they are also providing literally the same specs and now even the same software, even less price than that of OnePlus. As of now, OxygenOS is no more and only its name lives that OnePlus is currently marketing. Carl Pai, the former OnePlus co-founder's new company Nothing, has developed the NothingOS, which is following the old OxygenOS steps, which I am very happy to see it in action. Nowadays there are only PixelUI and NothingOS and somewhere OneUI, which is the most elegant version of Android present in the market. Thank you so much for watching till the end.